Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dashcast. I am Curtis Dasch, and joined with me, as always, is Brandon Colongo, and he is stoked to a certain degree, but not in a positive way, I should say, because we are actually going to start in this beautiful NFL Week 5 pick'ems by talking about the Bucs Bears, which was on last night. We're recording this on a Friday. We'll talk about the Bucs and Bears. I had picked the Bucs. I think Brandon had picked the Bucs as well, and he's got a lot to say. So, Brandon, you got the floor here. What's up, my friend?
Well, ultimately, I had a feeling it would be a close game, and it sure was. And in all fairness, officiating lost that game for Tampa Bay. I know that, obviously stuff happens after the whistle, but let's take a look at 3rd and 18. Chicago Bears basically backed up inside their own 20, and they get bailed out on a roughing the passer call. That honestly, that hit might have even affected the pass partially. So to think that that's roughing the passer is just absolutely outrageous. It then gave Chicago better field position. They basically had the ball at their 45 when they punted, as opposed to within the 20.
Right.
And so then Tampa Bay got backed up. They tried to run play -2, and then of course they actually had some great coverage on Tom Brady, on Tom Brady's receivers there in Tampa, and couldn't really find anyone open. So 2 incompletions, punt, field goal, and Chicago manages to hang on to win it.
Yeah, what a joke. I have no idea how Chicago is 4-1 at this point. They are not a 4-1 team. I did see a really wicked throw that I think Foles made. Allen Robinson just totally burns this receiver on a post route to the outside, and Foles just missed the throw by like a decade. It was, oh my god, it was just ridiculous.
Foles is quickly becoming Tom Brady's nemesis.
Yeah, we had kind of talked about that very briefly. Isn't that kind of weird how that works out?
I mean, I always knew that Nick Foles was going to find, a position somewhere. I didn't know it would be Chicago. It pains me because I really don't like anything about the Bears. I don't like their colors. I don't like watching them. They're boring. I hate that he went there of all places. But, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised. Nick Foles is a winner.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven it before. He called his own
He's
number
Tom
in the
Brady's
Super Bowl.
kryptonite.
Everybody's got one. Yeah, everybody knows I love Nick Foles. I just wish it didn't have to be with Chicago. I still don't think they're a perennial powerhouse in the team. Now, if Chicago beats Green Bay or something, we'll have a conversation about it. But I'm not afraid of them, nor am I afraid of
No.
Tampa Bay right now, to be completely honest with you. We'll see how I feel next Sunday when Green Bay goes to Tampa Bay. But at the moment, I'm feeling pretty confident. Rodgers been playing well. We got a bye. We're coming off rest. Hopefully, we get healthy, get Adams back. Mike Evans for the Bucs has been great. He's had a touchdown in every game. My fantasy team appreciates that. Let's go ahead and move to Carolina and Atlanta. Two teams that I honestly couldn't care less about. I'm sure you're in the same boat. Now, you kind of went with Carolina last week and ended up being right, and I think I went opposite of you. How are you feeling about this pick this week?
Yep, Carolina again. Easy. Falcons are awful.
Are you surprised that like the majority of the country is going Falcons here, though?
No, because people just think they're kind of due for a win. I don't think people realize they're as bad as they are quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously going Carolina too. It's not going to be much of a surprise here. If the Falcons are bad, I mean, if Green Bay's defense that had continuously given up 30 points a game holds them to 16, and I know Julio Jones wasn't all that healthy. He played half the game and then didn't play half the game. I don't know, something like that. Obviously, I'm going to Carolina. Not much to say here. Let's move on to Cincinnati and Baltimore. I don't think this is going to be too ridiculous. 98% of the country is going Baltimore. I'm in the 98%. 2% apparently liked what they saw from Joey B. What about you? Are you part of that 2%, Brandon?
No. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I love Joe Burrow. Yeah, but come on. It's the Ravens. They got L. Jack. It's not like they got some slouch at quarterback. There's a reason why 98% of the country's going with them.
Yeah, 100%. Next game, we got Raiders and Chiefs. I think this is another easy one. 97% of the country is going Chiefs. I'm part of that 97%, but what about you, Brandon?
So this one is actually a funny one to me because I think in rivalry games anything can happen, and let's not sugarcoat the fact that the Raiders have been able to beat what some people consider to be really good teams in the Saints.
Sure.
Or a really good team in the Saints. Like I said, they're you don't really know what to do with them. I think it's unfair that 97% of people are picking Kansas City, but then again, like I said, I'm not going to be the one that picks the Raiders upset. By default, I'm picking Kansas City, but don't be surprised if the Raiders knock them off.
So this is your trap game. This is one of those
Yep.
trap games that I mean, week 4 was devastating for trap games. I think I said that. I know I did not do well at all. I really hope this week's a little more cut and dry. I'd like a double-digit win marker for my pick'ems. Let's go ahead and jump to Rams and the Washington football team. The Washington football team is not starting Dwayne Haskins. They are moving on and starting Kyle Allen, who was with Ron Rivera and that regime over in Carolina previously. So they kind of trust them to run the system a little bit better. I don't really think it's going to change a whole heck of a lot. What about you?
No, Rams, better team. I love how this week is supposed to be super cut and dry.
I'm completely okay with that because I'm in the same boat. I'm going Rams. And then I think we'll just go ahead and jump to this next pick to where it's a big majority going one way versus the other. We've got the Cardinals and the Jets, and everybody knows the dumpster fire that is in New York over there in the Meadowlands with the Jets. I'm going Cardinals. I don't really know what's going on with the Cardinals. I hope it's just early season kind of hiccups, kind of swinging into things. Because at times Kyler Murray looks like an MVP, and then he looks like that guy who throws 5 picks. I don't know what you think about that. But.
Yeah, the sophomore slump year is real, and teams are figuring him out in a way, and he's going to have to combat that. With that said, I picked Arizona to go to the playoffs this year, and I meant it. So I have to have them beating the Jets.
Yeah, and I think it's a big. I mean, we can't have the Jets.
They can't lose. They can't lose. If they lose, my pick's out the window.
It's just not. It's not looking good for the future. Let's go ahead and jump to another team with a tie here in the Eagles. We were talking about Cincinnati earlier. You got Eagles and Steelers, and the Steelers are, if you've noticed, they're only 3-0 as opposed to 3 and whatever or 4-0 because they had that postponed game, and we will kind of get into a little bit of that when we talk about other teams. Now that being said, the Steelers they're coming off a bye now. They're going up against a decimated Eagles team. This is another one of those huge majority going one way, and I'm in the 93% going with the Steelers here. What about you?
Steelers too. Don't really have much to say about either team. I'm not impressed by the Eagles, obviously, or the Steelers for that matter. But they've been very fortunate with the teams that they've played, and so they'll continue to be fortunate.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead and jump to our hometown. Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the 0-4 Houston Texans, who just fired their coach Billy O'Brien and GM Billy O'Brien. So now there's like 3 or 4 vacancies over in the Houston locker room. Apparently J.J. Watt led a player revolt, and rightfully so. The Texans should not be this bad. Any chance the Jags pick up this W?
Absolutely. I'm going Jags, baby.
Really? Okay, so I'm glad we... Okay, I'm glad we kind of stopped on this because I had debated on this pick for a long time. This is one of those ones that I sat there and I was like, oh, is this a trap game? Because my gut said to go with the Jags because I really don't think the Texans are that good. Obviously, they're 0-4, but I think they're better than their record kind of insinuates. But the Jags have just not proven to me they can frickin' win anything. So
they can win their division games.
Can they?
The Texans are a mess right now. Well, they beat the Colts.
Yeah. And they haven't won since.
Well, they haven't played the Texans.
True. Very true. Very true. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't want to be right on this pick because I'm going with the Texans here. Every time I pick the Jags and think they've shown me something that I'm like, oh, they've kept this game close, they'll beat this team. Oh, they've kept this game close, they'll beat this team. Like, they got blown out by Miami. I don't know. Are you just counting on the Texans being so in disarray that Gardner Minshew can show out?
Well, I think Gardner Minshew's been playing pretty well for the most part.
Yeah,
so I think he'll continue to play pretty well. Do we have Chark back?
I think so.
As far as I know, I'm expecting Chark to play, and so
pretty sure he played
I like our team when he plays, and I think with losing a head coach is not something that you just recover from that easily, especially if you're leading a player revolt. They just had a player revolt. Like, no, I don't see that going well. It's not a great place to start, in my opinion.
I mean, and for my pick's sake, like I like being right. The over/under for that game is 54.5. The Texans are favored by 5.5 right now. I would probably take the under on that 54.5 and
Mm-hmm.
Texans by 5. I don't even know. I think it'll be like a 3-point game. But I know I mentioned this team earlier, and we'll jump to them now. The Miami Dolphins facing the San Francisco 49ers, who are still a little bit beat up. Dolphins are 1-3. They said they're staying with Fitzmagic. It's his team, kind of letting Tua learn a little bit. 89% of the country going Niners. Are you in that 89%, my friend?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yep, same boat.
I'm not impressed by the Dolphins, and I think it's going to actually make things interesting with my pick this year in the Cardinals because they're both going to be 3-2. My picks are correct.
Yeah, and at this point, the Cardinals own the tiebreaker over the Niners, don't they?
I believe so.
I thought the Cardinals won that game.
Yeah, I called their upset.
Yeah, you did. So that was the first of the 4 o'clock games, and this is one thing I should have said at the beginning of the cast. This week in the NFL is lit. We have so many interesting games. There's 6 1 o'clock games, 3 4 o'clock games, 1 Sunday night game, 2 Monday games, and 1 Tuesday night game. And we're kind of jumping on to the second of those 4 o'clock games. This is the first of the 4:25 games, and the Indianapolis Colts, and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland coming off of a giant showing against a stacked Dallas offense. But that team also gave up like 38 points. 58% of the country is actually going with Cleveland here, and as much as my disdain for them is large, it's very, very overwhelming disdain for that franchise and city. I'm going with Cleveland as well. What about you?
You just swayed me to Cleveland because I literally had my finger over both of these going back and forth, and then I just asked myself, do I really believe in Phillip Rivers?
No.
And I think at the end of the day, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns talent.
Yeah. Like you stated last week, I think you brought it up really well for week 4, and you're like, look, I'm not saying one team is better than the other or how they match up. You're just saying talent-wise. You look around the field, you look at the names on the paper, and you just see talent. Do I do that with the Colts? No.
No.
And that's really nothing against the Colts. I mean, I know they're in the
They
Jags
play
division,
well
but
as a cohesive unit. I mean, they were only losses to us in the beginning of the season, and you can be okay with that when they're onboarding a new quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Colts being a 3-1 team and the Browns being a 3-1 team is just really strange to me. And I know a lot of people were actually high on the Colts before this season started. Yeah. But to me, I don't believe in either of these 3-1.
No.
Are you worried about either of these 3-1 teams in the playoffs if they get there? I'm not. Maybe Cleveland if they're hot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they're hot, I guess. Yeah, if they were all to click at the right time, that could be a dangerous.
Just because of their talent,
set of players.
I figure like, wow, if that offense is burning, like, ooh,
I don't like their locker room though. I don't think they have the intangibles to be a force in the playoffs.
I mean, I don't like their locker room either. They had a guy literally beat another guy with a helmet. So.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. I don't like their mental toughness.
Or lack thereof, for example. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the last of the 4:25 games. We got the winless Giants against the 1-3 Cowboys in what is probably an extremely important division game because the Giants are still in this division at 0-4. God, the NFC East is trash. I mean, it's kind of been trash for a little bit.
I genuinely think that might be the difference between Jason Garrett
just one
and
win.
McCarthy.
Oh man, it's funny because I like McCarthy to a certain extent. I mean, the guy helped get me a ring,
No ice cream,
but
no substance.
He's a very one-dimensional guy. I like McCarthy. He's just very, very, very predictable. His play calling is predictable. Yeah. That being said, in his predictable play calling, and they gave up 41 points against the Browns, I'm still going with the Dallas Cowboys here.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that's a testament to my disdain towards the Giants.
No, it's a testament of so Dallas last year had the worst coach in the league, and then you take the worst coach of the league, and then you put him on the worst team in the league, and there you go. You now have the New York Giants. And the Dallas Cowboys took a middle-tier, bottom-tier, average run-of-the-mill coach who had a great run. He reminds me, he's Flacco-esque. McCarthy is like kind of Flacco-esque. He has that one ring, and that's about all you could say about him.
Well, speaking of Flacco, I know I should have mentioned this back when we were on the Jets, but he's actually starting this week, by the way. And Darnold is out. So we're gonna get wacko for Flacco in the Meadowlands against the Cardinals.
Is Darnold injured?
Yes.
Hmm.
I can't
All
remember
right. Well,
what though.
I feel like Flacco needs to be on a good team and get lucky to play in like the playoffs.
I feel like Flacco is trash. He had that.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. But he does have that playoff stint success. It's like
That's why he
if
got
you're going to
paid,
be a backup, you shouldn't be to the Jets because they're going to be terrible and you're going to have to go in the season and you're going to be exposed. You want to be on this. Not the Saints. They already have their backup. You want to be on like San Fran.
Yeah.
They make the playoffs and then you get lucky and end up in the game somehow.
Like Nick Foles and when Wentz always would go down and Nick Foles would just step in and like dominate.
Yeah, except the Eagles are awful, and who knows if they're making the playoffs.
Oh, the Eagles are definitely not making. I hope.
Or,
well, I don't.
You want to be on the Seahawks, just in case Russell gets into the playoffs, and then,
I mean, that was a good transition because speaking of Seahawks, we got Vikings and Seahawks for the Sunday night game. I'm going Seahawks here. 96% of the country agrees with me. Any chance you go with the 4%?
Come on now, Seahawks.
Same. All right, let's move to the first of the Monday night games. This is at 5 p.m. on Monday, which to me is insanely awesome. We've got the Broncos and the Patriots. 1-3 Broncos, 2-2 Patriots. I have no idea the starting QB situation for this team. I would assume it's Cam, provided he cleared all that. That being said, if it's not Cam, I really would change my pick off the Patriots. I really would.
Right.
But
I actually would too.
Yeah, as of this moment, I'm going New England.
Is Cam supposed to play?
I have no idea. I'm fairly sure he's supposed to play, but it all depends on like getting out. I think he cleared what is it, the protocol, the COVID protocol or whatever.
Okay, and then let's see. The Broncos have Driscoll starting.
I'm honestly not even sure who their starting QB is, seeing as 90% of them are injured.
Yeah, if Driscoll's starting, I would take the Broncos, but I don't see that being the case, and so I'm going to stick with the Patriots.
Yeah, I have no. Well, it doesn't. I don't see Driscoll on the injury report. I don't even see Cam on the injury report.
I know, and it's like, can you even trust what you see on their depth chart?
I mean, no.
Like I had Adams starting because he was playing, and then all of a sudden he tweets, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, so we've got Drew Lock is questionable at the moment. The coach did say, however, that he has a chance to play Monday night against the Pats. So we'll see. With that, that's one of those things. Cam Newton is not on the list. Edelman has he was on the list or on the injury report, but they're saying he's fine. Patriots. There's no way the Broncos win this game. Let's just move on to the second Monday night game here. We got Chargers Saints. Chargers Saints here. I'm going Saints. Now, this is one of those trap games, I think. The Saints have not played as particularly well as I think they should have. They have played a lot of teams. I mean, I don't know how the Raiders beat them. Granted, you did bring up the Raiders earlier with they've got abilities to just upset teams. Do you see the Chargers winning this?
Did the Saints win last week? Who did the Saints play last week? Remind me.
The Saints played. Didn't they have? I can't. He had a bye week.
Let's see here. I basically
no, they played the Lions.
The Saints.
They played the Lions. I forgot about that. Sorry.
And they beat the Lions, right?
Oh yeah, but that was like they were down 14-0 in the beginning of the half, and then they came back and scored 5 straight unanswered touchdowns.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Really?
Yeah, I think their defense is great, and their offense has actually surprised me.
I mean, Air Bear has. I mean, now so he has the job going forward, and I feel for Tyrod Taylor. I mean,
really? No.
Well,
no, you got to start him.
No, I think you do. I feel for Tyrod Taylor because of why he lost the job. He didn't lose the job based on ability or merit.
He should have never got the job.
Probably.
You got to start your rookies. I'm tired of this whole baby and the rookies thing. Throw him in there. Find out if he's the guy. Let's go.
We've kind of gotten on back into that. No, I feel bad for anybody who doesn't know the story about Tyrod Taylor. He was actually injured by a team doctor. They punctured his lung before the game, and he lost his job and couldn't play. It was something along those lines. That is why I feel for the guy. I mean, that's a bummer. I like Tyrod Taylor. He seems like an upbeat dude. I mean, I've never met him, but he seems like an upbeat dude and anything
Yeah,
I've
no,
seen.
it's sad.
But that being
But I
said,
don't think he would be leading this team to any wins.
100%,
And you need to find
agree.
out now if Herbert is the guy or not.
And he seems to
The
be
guy.
good. I mean,
But
Air Bear
it's,
seems to be good.
I think there has to be a couple upsets this week.
I
It's
right?
to be that cut and dry.
Yeah, because like you said, this seems like a very cut and dry week. So is this somehow a trap week for us? Oh God, no.
Yeah, I'm picking my upset right now.
You think it's going to be the Chargers?
Yeah.
It would not surprise me. That's I'm
I have
one
a
of those
second
games.
upset too. Like, I mean, I'm leaning Bills, but Titans could beat them.
They're rested.
I'm not that sold on the Bills.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm going Buffalo for sure. I'm not sold on the Titans all that much. Now they
I'm
are
not sold
pretty
on the Titans
rested.
either. No, I'm not sold on either team. That's my problem.
I think Josh Allen's just been playing so well. One bad game from him though. One bad game ruins that how people will talk about him. The
Yeah,
media
that's true.
is quick to turn on people, and the sports media, especially Bills Mafia, among the most passionate of fans, among some of the worst fans I've ever met, but among the most passionate. I mean, they might call for his head if he has like a 3-pick game. I mean, 4 3-pick games, something like that. Do you think Tannehill gets outperformed by Josh Allen here, or do you think he just does what he needs to do and maybe the Titans? I mean, they're at home too. The Titans can win
No,
this
I
game.
suspect the Bills to win. I suspect, Josh Allen to outplay Tannehill and, Henry to outperform Singletary. But, I think the Bills are I think the Bills are just a better team.
Yeah.
Overall, as a whole. So I got to lean towards Bills, but I think the Titans have a good defense. They have the makings of a team that will knock off good teams. The Titans have all the pieces to knock off a good team.
I mean, we've seen them do it, so it's not like it would be unprecedented. But with all that being said, guys, all of our picks are wrapped up here. That's 15 picks you heard from Brandon and myself. Crazy weekend football we're gonna have. So many games on random days. I love the Monday day game, or the Monday midday game and the Tuesday night game. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully Brandon and I do well in this cut and dry week. Going into week 7 here, week 6, feeling a little bit more confident. But let's get it. Let's get a good week 5. Good luck to all your teams except for Cleveland. Go Pack, go. We'll see you next clip.